Imagine this. You're not at home, you're in an ancient Egyptian temple. The air smells of incense, and in the shadows, a cat silently watches you. Have you ever wondered why these felines have been so special to different cultures? What do they see that we can't? Could it be true that they have a connection to the spiritual world? It's no coincidence that when your cat stares at you, you feel more than just affection. Today you'll learn what history and spirituality have hidden from us for centuries. Stay tuned, because after this video you'll never look at your cat the same way again. Egypt, the cat as guardian of the soul. In the heart of ancient Egypt, around 2900 BC, cats began to be domesticated and venerated. They were much more than pets. They were sacred. They were the eyes of the gods. The goddess Bastet, worshipped primarily in the city of Bubastis, was one of the principal feline deities. Bastet, daughter of Ra, the sun god, was the protector of the home, harmony, and the feminine soul. She was depicted with the head of a cat and the body of a woman, and thousands of people gathered at festivals in her honor. Killing a cat was a crime punishable by death. When a cat died, the Egyptian family shaved their eyebrows as a sign of mourning, and in many cases, the feline's body was mummified with rites similar to those of humans. Cats were seen as protectors against dark forces. In religious texts and amulets, they were credited with the ability to ward off evil spirits. Their purring was interpreted as a sacred frequency that healed body and spirit. Royal tombs have been found with mummified cats and their owners, symbolizing the eternal connection between humans and felines, even in the afterlife. Mesopotamia and Babylon. Between the useful and the sacred. In ancient Mesopotamia, the region that today encompasses Iraq, cats were not worshipped as they were in Egypt, but they were still valued. The Sumerian civilization, around 3000 BC, already bred cats as allies against rats in granaries. During the height of the Babylonian Empire, cats were common in middle and upper-class homes. Although they did not have a primary religious role, there are records where cats are mentioned in magical and domestic contexts. Magical texts such as the Compendium of Babylonian Exorcisms mention that certain animals could act as spiritual receivers or mediators. Although dogs were the most commonly used, some manuscripts suggest that cats, due to their enigmatic behavior, were considered important in protective rituals. There is also evidence that the Babylonians believed in household spirits and that certain animals, including cats, helped maintain the spiritual balance of the home. The appearance of a black cat was believed to be an omen of purification. The gaze of a cat was seen as a barrier against evil. In everyday practice, a cat arriving alone in a home was seen as a positive omen of destiny. Greece and Rome. Freedom, femininity, and mystery. In ancient Greece, cats were not as common as in Egypt, but their mystery was recognized. It is believed that they were introduced from Egypt and gradually replaced weasels as pest controllers. Artemis, the Greek goddess of the hunt, the moon, and wild animals, represented feminine independence and was associated with felines in some later myths. In Rome, the goddess Libertas, a symbol of civil liberty, was depicted with a cat at her feet, associating the feline with autonomy and resistance to oppression. During the Roman Republic, cats became common in the homes of the upper classes. Pliny the Elder, a 1st century AD Roman naturalist, described cats as animals with extraordinary senses, capable of perceiving things the human eye could not. Philosophers such as the Neoplatonist Plotinus spoke of the existence of souls with different levels of perception, and certain animals, such as cats, were said to have a higher spirit. The Romans believed that a cat sitting nearby during sleep was watching over the sleeping soul. Therefore, cats were common in the bedrooms of spiritually sensitive people. Middle Ages and esoteric thought. From guardians to persecuted. During the Middle Ages, from the 5th to the 15th centuries, the status of the cat changed radically. With the spread of Christianity, many ancient symbols were reinterpreted as evil, and the cat, especially the black cat, became a victim of dark superstitions. In the 13th century, Pope Gregory IX claimed that black cats were used in satanic rituals. This unleashed a wave of persecutions that reached its climax during the Black Death, where the mass killing of cats allowed rats to proliferate even further. Despite these persecutions, in occultism and alchemy, the cat continued to be respected. The alchemist Paracelsus mentioned that animals like cats were sensitive to the energetic currents of the universe. In Renaissance esotericism, cats were believed to absorb negative energies from the environment and that their movements were aligned with cosmic forces. The Grimoire, the Key of Solomon, a medieval esoteric text, includes instructions for protection rituals that request the presence of a pure animal, with the white cat being a symbol of purity and spiritual perception. Witches, figures of wisdom and natural medicine, often kept cats as familiars, that is, animal spirits that assisted in magical practices. This reinforced their ambivalent image, cursed by some and sacred to others. Japan and the Eastern world. Cats as symbols of fortune and spiritual beings. Cats were introduced into Japan around the 6th century AD from China, possibly via Korea. Their arrival coincided with the rise of Buddhism, and they quickly became integrated into the culture as protectors of temples and spiritual guardians. The Maneki-neko, or inviting cat, legend tells that the feudal lord Nataka was saved from a lightning strike by a cat that called to him by raising its paw. In gratitude, he built a temple and dedicated it to cats. Since then, this figure represents protection and good fortune. However, in Japanese folklore, there are also mysterious figures such as the Bastet, monstrous cat, and the Nikomata, split-tailed cat. These creatures were believed to be old cats that acquired supernatural powers such as speaking, transforming into humans, and even manipulating the dead. Buddhist temples, such as Zenkoji, allowed cats as guardians. Their eyes were said to watch over the human soul during meditation and to protect monks from dark influences. Even today, many Japanese believe that a cat sleeping next to you, or entering your home for no apparent reason, brings with it a spiritual message or the energy of a deceased loved one. Cats today. Companions, healers, and emotional guardians. Today, in the 21st century, cats continue to play a role that goes far beyond being simple companion animals. Scientific studies, personal testimonies, and cultural observations agree that these felines continue to be symbols of protection, healing, and spiritual connection in modern life. In the field of mental health, recent research has shown that cats can help reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. The simple act of petting a cat can lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, and increase the production of oxytocin, known as the love hormone. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania have shown that a cat's purr has measurable therapeutic effects in humans. Furthermore, many people report that their cats come into their lives at critical moments. After a loss, during periods of illness, or when facing emotional challenges. Coincidence? For many, it isn't. Today, stories abound of cats that seem to sensitize human pain and react accordingly, approaching, rubbing, or simply remaining present as true emotional guardians. The cat's purr, which ranges between 25 and 150 Hz, has been studied for its regenerative capacity. Veterinarians and feline therapists point out that these frequencies can accelerate the healing of bones, muscles, and tissues. It is not uncommon to find people who claim that their cat knew where it hurt and would perch on that exact area of the body. On the spiritual level, contemporary communities of esoteric beliefs, such as Reiki, consider cats as energy channels. They are believed to be able to absorb negative charges from the environment and protect their humans from psychic attacks or dense energies. Others also see them as spiritual guides who accompany processes of internal transformation. In film, literature, and social media, cats continue to be enigmatic, wise, and sometimes mystical figures. From the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland to the cats featured in self-help and spirituality books, the message is clear: cats continue to occupy a privileged place in the collective unconscious. Perhaps that's why more and more people are choosing to live with them. Because beyond their beauty, independence, or elegance, there's something in their gaze that seems to tell us, "You are not alone. I'm here." Have you ever felt like your cat is silently watching you, as if it knows something you don't yet understand? That fixed stare, that enigmatic behavior, it's no coincidence. In the video that appears on screen, your cat has a secret mission. We reveal the hidden side that very few know about. Click now and open the door to a world your cat has always seen, but that you are about to discover. After this journey through cultures, temples, and beliefs, what does your intuition tell you now about your cat? Science may not yet have all the answers. But your experience, that feeling you get when your cat looks at you, touches you with its paw, or sleeps near your heart, is more than real. Cats have been symbols of spiritual connection, guardians of the soul, and beings of light for thousands of years. Maybe they don't need to speak because they say everything with their presence. And maybe, just maybe, when your cat approaches you for no apparent reason, it's protecting you from something you can't even imagine. Do you think your cat has a connection with you that goes beyond the physical? Tell me in the comments, and if this story touched your heart, share it. Because everyone deserves to know the spiritual side of those beings who walk silently, but leave eternal marks on our souls. Thank you for joining us. See you in our next episode.